It's currently 7:01 PM on Tuesday, October 1st. For roll call purposes, all council members are in attendance. At this time, we'll move on to item 3. Item 3A. Ms. Calorio can fill everybody in on this if I miss anything. She had already interviewed within the past year, so she's not required to interview. So we can vote to reappoint her next week at the regular meeting. And then Mr. LaBelle unfortunately wasn't able to make it tonight. So we'll skip over items 3A and 3B, and we'll move on to item 4, citizen statements and petitions. Ms. Clory, did we have anything submitted?
We had none submitted.
Okay. Thank you. If anyone would like to make any public comment, just have it pertinent to the items on this evening's agenda, which would be the 2 appointments that we passed over. You can still comment on them because they are on the agenda. And also discussion with the Board of Rec and discussion of the town manager evaluation, if there's anyone who wants to make public comment. Last call for public comment. Seeing none, we'll move on in the agenda. Item 5, old business, we have nothing, so we'll move on to item 6A, new business, discussion with Board of Rec staff liaison.
So first thing I just wanted to let you know, Melissa Phillips couldn't be here tonight, our chair. She is ill. I'll let you guess on that magical disease that's going around that everybody seems to be getting lately. So I told her not to worry about it. I would come and just update you on some recreational things that are going on. Tonight I also brought, which I wasn't 100% sure that you were aware, I brought Wendy Fusco with me again to give a little update on Cat Hollow. I'm going to actually let her go first. Been very pleased with, I've come to the board meetings before. You guys have talked about volunteers and things that we can do in the community. This is a fine example of some of the things we've been able to accomplish with little to no funding, with a lot of volunteers. I don't know if a lot of you have gone down there and walked lately, but it's gorgeous. We've gotten a lot of compliments. Obviously, I've been here 2 years now as the director, and I think we're up to 3 or 4 people that have requested weddings down there, which you would kind of be like surprised. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous, and I owe a lot of credit to Wendy. She's stepped up to the plate and has done a tremendous job. So I'll let her speak a little bit just to let you know what's going on, where we're at there, and where we're looking to go with Cat Hollow.
Thank you, Bob. So you have seen me before in July, I think it was. Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So about, some of this is repeat, but some of it's new, so I'll share it. 20 different volunteers so far, and about still 200 volunteer hours of work have gone into beautifying Cat Hollow Park in the Dayville section of Killingly. And most of our gardeners they're all volunteers, of course, but from Quiet Corner Garden Club or interns from the Master Gardening Program through UConn. And Donna Brownwell and I were working down at Cat Hollow on Saturday. It was a gorgeous day. It's been gorgeous all week, but 28 people stopped to ask us more about what we're doing, the group. They've seen us before, and they thanked us and said, we have noticed a difference, which is so nice to hear. And we've heard it before, but we're not usually there on weekends where there's a lot of traffic. A lot of people go to Cat Hollow, as a lot of you are aware. So we were really happy to hear that, because you just work and you don't know if people are really paying attention. So we reestablished our garden earlier on. A native pollinator garden is so important since bees are dying a lot, and there are other pollinators too, so it helps our environment. We continued watering and weeding and maintaining throughout the summer, which I never thought about before I said, yes, let's do a garden. How you have to bring down the jugs of water yourself. Removed and cut back invasive plants, including knotweed, oriental bittersweet, autumn olive or Russian olive, barberry, Japanese honeysuckle, garlic mustard, and multiflora rose are the main culprits, so to speak, which were in the day the popular things to plant till we realized how invasive they are. That's a never-ending project. Designed and added autumn decorations to both entrances. I think you all have some photos there that I had sent, and that's of the Dog Hill side. Identified trees with their Latin names and common names to eventually have signage made. Identified trees that are sickly or dead to be either treated or removed, and Matt Doobie and the Highway Department have done an amazing job. They really got into that and took care of our concerns. Created a rock garden area on the slope, which will help with deterring erosion and also make it a beautiful area. That's where Bob Lucas's homestead/mill was before it burned. Well, now it's not there, but that's that location. So if you ever want to go there, you can look. Cleaned away brush, continue to. And we've cleaned areas to plant native plants. And we've also educated interested passerbys of what our group is about and what they're doing. The Highway Department just recently, last week I believe, made a parking change to accommodate handicapped people, a room for them at the Dog Hill entrance so that people will not park too closely to the, what do you call it, barriers? Yeah, the gate. So that's great. And the other is sort of a natural area that does already have that room on the Valley Road side. So, we are planting this Thursday 8 native bushes, and I believe they are 3-gallon bushes, so they're good size. We wanted to have that more than the 2 gallons so that they'll have a better chance of surviving over the winter, and with the weather, it looks like there'll be enough time to get the roots established. So that's going to happen Thursday and maybe another day soon after, depending on how fast we get that done, and some other perennial plants. So that'll add color, interest, late fall and winter food, and shelter for birds and small mammals and insects. So I think that's what I can remember. Is there anything, any questions that anyone wants to ask me or comments? So, okay.
Do you need more volunteers down there?
Yes. So Mary and I talked about this. We are going to do a little bit more this fall, but our main push, I think, will be for the spring. So if you know of someone who wants to start now, we certainly will take them. But if definitely early spring, I think we started late April last year. I'm not sure if it'll be exactly that. It was because of the weather and me new to this and organizing it and all, and that's when the times seem to be available for people to be able to come. But yeah, feel free. And Mary will figure out in the near future how the volunteers should contact Killingly to then get that information to me to contact them. We are going to be there this Thursday from 9 to 12. We're starting at the Valley Road side, and then we're going to move to the Rock Garden, which is further down on the same left side of the road, and then of the pathway, and then we'll eventually end up at the Dog Hill side. So if anyone wants to jump in and join us, they are welcome to do that.
And what we'll do is, as we start preparing for spring, we'll probably do a big campaign push for volunteers.
Yeah.
So that way she can better plan, what are their, what tasks they're going to be able to take on, and duration and timing of being able to get that done. So we'll do a bigger push and a broader campaign. So that way, people that may want to join now, they, when spring comes, they may not be as available. So we want to make sure that we have the people that will be able to, really participate in the spring.
Yeah. And I would definitely recommend using the website as a tool to recruit
we will be.
people. So.
Thank you.
And
That's a good
Facebook
idea.
and
Yeah.
Instagram
Yep.
and Winnie and all of those.
It's wonderful, yeah. I just have to say, my parting shot, not shot, it sounds bad. My parting remark is that it's been such a pleasure and continues to be working with Bucky, Matt, and the rest of the crew, Mary and their group. Everyone has been so supportive with us, and that makes it a delight, because I've been a volunteer in many places. I've been a paid person too, and that doesn't always happen. So thank you guys for making it feel really like a community. I really do feel that way.
Well, I'd like to thank you because I've done my fair share of gardening, and that's just in my yard, never mind in an overgrown, wild environment. And you made this, I mean, I did Girl Scouts for a long time, and we did some early cleanups down there, but I'm so glad that you volunteered, and all the others that are with you are willing to make our town that much more beautiful.
Thank you. And I forgot to mention Jean Vos, who couldn't be here tonight. She's been my right-hand person, and Donna Brownwell, too, the three of us. It's been helpful to run ideas by each other, so I don't feel alone in this decision-making process. Oh, no, I'm going to plant a plant that's going to ruin this whole area, that kind of thing. So thank you for saying that. Appreciate both your ideas.
Thank you. Mr. Grandelsky.
Talked about parking, additional spaces. What about parking in general? That's one thing I'm hearing. They're almost everywhere. Parking is a problem. How do we, Owen Bell, but it seems this is the overflow. Maybe not so much. A lot of people are going to Cat Hollow first. It's a totally different environment.
And what makes it difficult is we have two sides.
Right.
So it's small on both ends. So if it's crowded on one side, the hope is that people are driving to the other side to try to park. But it does get difficult. Even when we did the volunteers, when they came down, there was probably 7, 8, 9 cars on the Dog Hill side. And so it's a challenge. It's the way it's designed. It's almost like it's a walkway, obviously, with the wooded path areas towards the falls.
Well, we want to encourage, again, a lot of people want to park fairly close to and then get into it.
Right.
They don't mind walking once they're in the park. That's one thing, but they don't want to walk a long distance. Someone said they parked down the hill, down across the bridge. I said, well, these guys are coming up. I don't know how often that happens.
So Bucky, when you're on the Dog Hill side, the road that goes down there to the right, is that just inaccessible to get down there and create?
It's not for it's not for cars.
It's not that size.
Right.
It would be a lot of work to get down there and make
Yeah.
parking at the bottom of that hill.
And there's not really enough area to really achieve much in the way of parking
Right.
down there, so it really wouldn't be, worth that. It's more really for that footpath or bikes that can travel down there.
That
Yeah.
turn is pretty hairpin,
Right.
to go around that corner.
Right, I mean, you could smooth some of that out, but ultimately, the landing place at the bottom isn't necessarily large enough to really accommodate much in the way of cars, so you would have a really high expense for maybe getting, a small handful of cars down there. So really trying to look at other strategic ways of creating something for parking.
It's not a bad problem to have, though. It's becoming popular.
Oh, it is.
Right.
Again,
I mean-
the last 4 years especially.
Mm.
It used to be, we go to Owen Bell, it's busy, now I'm hearing that that's the prime, and then, it's okay, it's good.
Right.
It is it's Colt's Plastic that's right there. I mean, even parking in their back part up by that warehouse area. I mean, maybe we could talk with them that on the weekends, make some kind of,
Yeah, because there's never really anybody parked there, but it is I don't know if they do, it's private, so I
Yeah,
don't
I know.
know. I'm assuming, is that where you were talking, people were parking and then walking up? Yeah.
And there's a few people, I'll just encourage this one small idea, that a few people will meet together to then walk. So if anyone's hearing this, viewing right now, if you know you're going to be meeting someone, maybe you could meet at some other place and then use one car to drive there. That'll help to some degree. But that's not everybody, I understand.
Sure, yeah. So while we're on the update of park projects, I just wanted to review a few that we've obviously accomplished. Thank you again. The pavilion dedication was awesome. It was nice to see a lot of the members there to be able to speak. Obviously, Owen Bell, the dredging, which we were really nervous about, in-house went very well. Huge savings of money if you look at what the final cost will end up being compared to those bids that had come in. And I've gotten a lot of compliments as to how it looks, which is awesome. And we didn't destroy the soccer field altogether, that we were able to only use a small portion. They've already seeded, so we're hoping that that will come back. We'll be able to begin in the spring. We still have to do the track. We're going to tear the track up. We're going to have a paved walkway. So we're excited about that. We're going to be getting 3 shade shelters shortly. I've been working with the highway department. Basically shade shelters, the areas where we cut the trees up at the parking lot in front of the playscapes and the splash pad. There'll be 2 shade shelters there, and then there'll be one next to the splash pad. And basically what they are is exactly what I just said. They're shaded areas. There's no shade in those areas for people. So we're looking forward to getting those put in. At some point, we want to upgrade the existing splash pad with some different things that will spray water. We want to add that toddler splash pad. I am in talks with Ben DeZonier on the baseball field. As you know, we did a study there to get that field upgraded. So we're hoping to, at some point, do that. Lions Park, I know that has been brought up many times. We need to upgrade that playscape. We're starting to have issues with it. Not starting, I'm sure there's been issues before. It's quite old. And then with park projects, obviously, and projects in general, Westfield, starting the process of working on a budget for when we move over there. I know it's early in the budget season, but for us, I kind of want to get a feel for what we hope we can get, what we really need, and then if we have a bad budget season, a third form of a cutted or a cut budget so that we can get something passed when we get in there. I know it's more usable space, and it's the part that we're using might be a little smaller, but the auditorium, the gymnasium, and that whole area is going to be used on a regular basis. So I think it's important that we make sure that we have a good, solid budget moving in there. And especially with I'm working on senior center budgets, looking at different towns who have had senior centers. I want to move forward with that program. We might start off small, but I really want that program to grow. I think it's a great space to utilize. So those are things I'm currently working on. Events, drumming circle has been going on. We have one more. We'll be at Spooktacular on the 26th, and then they'll be moving inside in the auditorium. And then the fireworks that we obviously did, I thought the fireworks were one of our better displays in a few years. Jeep Invasion went very well. Summer Concert Series was excellent. So we're excited about that. 2 years, in 2 years, we basically had to lock in the fireworks for next year and the year after because of the big celebration. So we are looking at possibly doing something special in 2026. So we have that in the works, but we want to start fundraising for that. As you know, we fundraised for the fireworks. We raised almost $18,000. It was $17,900 this year that we took in. The fireworks alone were $15,500, and then the band, cost of the band. So that was fully funded through fundraising. We're fundraising a little bit for Spectacular. We've expanded, as if you've seen these trifolds. Also wanted to mention that we're working with the high school and their video department. They're going to be doing videotaping the whole day of the 26th so that we can use that as a promotion for next year, which will be really cool. The one thing I'm really excited about, it's, like I said, I've been here 2 years now, and it's kind of been, we're getting there. At some point in the near future, myself and KBA president, the new president, want to come and talk about collaborating on special events where we can do more together. So I think you'll start seeing that happen. And I'm really excited now. I think they're getting on the same page as we are, where we want to go. So that's exciting. Programs, I'll just mention really quick our Youth Hoop program. We have a week still of registration, and we are already at 300 kids registered for our Youth Hoop program. Last year, we were total 300. So I think we're doing okay there. Our preseason clinic, we usually take 60 kids. We're already 3/4 full there. Our yoga programs are full, which is exciting. We do have some new programs, beginner line dancing. We have our meditation classes. Ballroom dancing was our first time last year. We actually did a ballroom recital in the auditorium, went very well. They actually donated $750 to the department after they performed. So we've been doing that. Our River Trail Fun Run series, we started that back up. We had 50 people running down on the River Trail. Again, another gem of an area where people can go. So that's exciting. Our senior programs, I've been working with Maureen on some of the budget stuff that I'm going to be presenting soon, and with some of the senior stuff from different towns. We're going to be going to Plainfield Senior Center to look at their senior center and what kind of things they do. So we're excited about that. We have one of our Stu and Story senior events. It's almost full already, people signing up. So we're excited about where we're going. Still got a lot of work to do, but I like the direction we're going in. And I guess finally, the last thing I just wanted to mention, obviously, we've had a little rough time with staffing. We've had that turnover, which we knew was going to happen. It's going to continue to happen with retirees, not only within our office department, but obviously with the parks. I think the people that we've hired have done a phenomenal job filling in. Bruno was a huge loss, but I think the crew we have now has done an excellent job, and I think moving forward, we're going to be in good shape.
Thank you. Comments, questions from council?
How did your Big E trip, did you actually fill the bus?
Yes, we did. And it was 50 people, and they had a great time. Our staff went. It was cloudy here, but it was beautiful up there. And everybody had a good time. And we switched. Obviously, I don't know if you realize, it's hard to get motor coach busing now, transportation. But DATCO, since we've used DATCO, we've had them a number of times. They're excellent. Drivers have been excellent. It's expensive now, but it is what it is.
I thought it was a pretty good deal for going up to Springfield and.
Right. Yes, it is. And I'm also, speaking of trips, one of the new things, in case anybody's a fan, I don't know if you're Yankees or Red Sox, but we are going to do a Red Sox trip. I'm looking for June this year. I've had a lot of requests for people. I used to, where I came from, I used to do a Red Sox game, and then I did a Red Sox Yankee game in Yankee Stadium. You can't do Red Sox Yankees in Fenway. They don't, because it's so small. So, but it's the cost of the bus. It's over $2,000 just to go to a game, just for the bus. And you know what a ticket to get into a baseball game per ticket goes. So, it can be costly for families. So that's why we've been budgeting the bus trips. So that covers the cost of the bus, and the people that want to go to the game are only paying for the ticket. So,
Ms. Barclay?
Oh, it was a comment when we were going over the activities for October for next year, include a day that doesn't include Halloween for people who don't celebrate Halloween.
yeah, that's why when we're looking to do a week long of events, it can also be fall now. It doesn't just have to be Halloween. And we're gonna, just so you know, I'm gonna wait a month after the event's over. And then one of the suggestions was to form a committee that will look at that, and we'll probably meet every other month, probably on the off months of our rec meetings, and I want to try to get the PTO involved with some of their programming, the KBA, the library, ourselves, some of those groups to come together and have their own days during those weeks, so that we can advertise that. And we're going to increase this to getting it to more businesses. I ran out, quite honestly. So I want to try to get it around to everybody. And one of the things that's spectacular, it's not just Main Street now. So we're going to do a trick-or-trunk on Commerce Avenue, so that the businesses that aren't on Main Street can come down and advertise themselves and hand out candy on that Saturday. And then after they're done, again, I told you I wanted to try to bring more people down that end. We're going to do a block party there as well, with a DJ and glow stick party for the evening. And that'll be part of KBA's dedication. And all of that will be on that video that the students are going to put together for us for next year. So even though it's our second year of that event, I really consider it the first year that we do all these the ghost tour through Danielson's going to be really cool. We already have people buying tickets through KBA, so that's exciting. And we'll come up with different ideas so that we make it all around just a nice fall event and a week-long event. And I don't know if anybody drove by Davis Park tonight, but we do now have a new Tree of Life. So that was exciting. Again, kudos to the Highway Department.
Oh, yeah,
We've been
there's some out
working
there.
very closely together, collaborating on a lot of, not only just our projects, but a lot of work that's been going on around town that either we've been doing before or we're just working together, which is really nice. I'm probably in more contact now with the highway director than I've ever been on a daily basis, just working to try to get things accomplished. And they're happening quickly too, which is excellent. So I'm very pleased.
I mean, it's a beautiful tree, it's got a beautiful shape, but in comparison to that big one, it almost reminds me of the Charlie Brown tree.
It does look small, but, again, it's going to grow.
It's gonna
A
grow.
foot a
It'll
year.
grow.
1 foot a year.
It will.
And we won't need as many lights on it for this year.
That's right.
So there's a blessing.
That's right.
So, and the bonfire that we have there for Spectacular it's a lot more open now.
Yeah.
So that'll help too, so.
We will be looking to do a rededication of that tree. So that tree was originally planted in honor of George Washington by the Daughters of the American Revolution. We've been in contact with the local chapter, which is actually out of Brooklyn now, they're interested in participating in a rededication, as well as Day Kimball, Day Kimball Hospital is the one that does the Tree of Life ceremony for hospice care. So they're also wanting to participate in that. So we're going to try and see if we can get that scheduled for later in November, before Thanksgiving. But we want to make sure that they can actually have the lights up on the tree and everything like that. So we're trying to work with Parks to determine when would be a good day. So we'll probably circulate some dates to try and figure out what may work best for a rededication ceremony for that tree. So we can incorporate really the community as well as the two organizations that have really utilized it as a dedication.
I actually forgot more. Theater. I should have done a theater update. Descendants is coming up. That's going to be a big show. Yes, 81 cast members. We've already sold 300 plus tickets ahead of
How many
time.
of those 81 are kids?
62, I believe, 63, somewhere around there. Are
So many kids.
our kids, which excellent. We also have it's going to be a Sousified Christmas Carol for Christmas. I'm assuming, I haven't gotten word, but I'm assuming when we're in the Dazzle Light Parade that the trailer will be probably Dr. Seuss, and we'll probably, I've already talked to Matt about doing the new plow of Dr. Seuss with our artist who will do the plow again. And then for Valentine's, we will have our Valentine Cabaret. And then in the spring, Wizard of Oz, which is going to be excellent. So that show or the show in the summer may be our last show. So at the old theater, little theater on Broad Street. So they're doing a great job again. We had a volunteer, again, working with Highway Department, we had a volunteer day to clean out theater. We had a dumpster, the big roll-off dumpster we filled on a weekend and was sent away just with all theater things, and we could probably do it 2 more times. So there's a lot of stuff at the old center. So we're trying to slowly clean that out so that when we move, it's not all just left, or not only left, but having to do it all at once. So we're doing a little at a time.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? All right, I want to thank you for coming forward.
Thank you. Thanks.
We'll now move on the agenda. The next item up is 7A, executive session discussion on town manager evaluation. I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session with the town council. Motion was made by Ms. Murphy, seconded by Ms. Barclay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. We'll now go into executive session. It is 7:33 PM.